My name is Michael Loh, and I'd like to share a little bit about our journey, particularly through 3CE Ministries, which was founded by my wife Gwen and I many years back in response to the need of the indigenous communities in East Malaysia. 3CE is part of City Life All Impact. We are very pleased today to be able to share a little bit about our journey with how we got involved with the solar lighting. The beauty of this system is the solar panel stays on the roof all the time. It will automatically be charging the system when the sun comes up and is ready for use in the evenings. The solar panel is at least the size, A4 size, and it has a separate control battery unit. It comes pre-wired. As you can see, you can in this instance you can have up to 4 lamps, and then for this one is to plug into the solar panel. Each one of them has individual switches, so all the user has to do is just to press the switch, and you can see this is a tube LED which is pretty bright, very bright. It also has a separate USB port for your mobile phone charging and other charging. Jesus said in the Gospel of John that He's the light of the world. So it's very appropriate that as we continue with implementing solar projects, we wanted to be able to impact positively the communities in East Malaysia. From our previous experience, we find that some of the indigenous folks may not be able to purchase a system, and so we felt there's a need for microfinancing the solar systems for them. And as a result, we have actually created a Solar Enterprise Fund. And the whole idea is that the fund will then work with our indigenous partners in East Malaysia. And the way the system works is for every ringgit that they can raise in East Malaysia, the fund will contribute 1 ringgit as well. So that way they have the opportunity to double in size the fund, and at the same time, by collectively pooling the resources together, we are then able to purchase, let's say, 100 units of what I call the solar home systems that I shared earlier. The amount of money they spent on petrol alone runs into thousands of ringgits over a 5-year period. And yet, if they were to implement, for instance, this kind of solar lighting system today, they would immediately derive a significant saving, which means that we are now able to not only provide solar lighting, but actually help them to save money that they can use for other useful purposes. The solar lighting that I shared with you is to enable us to bless the community by providing lighting to where they do not have electricity. The benefits of that is the children are being blessed as well, because with additional lighting in the evening, it would help them to improve their educational standards by giving them more time and more light to study. The solar project is an integral part of the strategy that we have developed in order to really not only think of the spiritual but also think about their well-being. It's a holistic approach, which is so important for our communities there. Now, you may wonder, where on earth are we working in East Malaysia? Right now, we are focusing on what we call the Rejang Basin, which is based along the Great Rejang River in Sarawak. And this basically stretches from Sibu, Kanowit, all the way to Kapit. And as some of you may be aware, that the only way to access some of these inner towns at the moment is by high-speed boat. So one can travel all the way in from Cebu to Kapit by high-speed boat. And then, of course, once you reach Kapit, the challenge is there are more than 1,000 villages scattered in the interior close to the Rejang River. And that is where, in order to access those communities, one has to use small boats, as shown, where you can see that it is quite dangerous in some regards, because it is a very long and very shallow kind of a boat. But that's the only way, in some cases, that you can access those communities. And it is very exciting to be part of this work, because as we are able to impact those communities, I could see a revival taking place in those communities as well. And this is just the beginning of what we want to do. We have great partners right now in East Malaysia that we are working with, and please feel free to talk to us. We are available on the City Life World Impact website, and you can always send us an email and reference 3CE Ministries, and we will get in touch with you. We are very encouraged by the level of support we are already getting, and we would like to ask and pray that more and more people, particularly those of us who are somehow linked to Malaysia, to step in and get more and more involved, because we have now the potential not just to do a little bit, but to actually contribute and help to transform communities that will eventually even transform the nation of Malaysia.